Soul ties are real. Whether you believe it or not, no one is immune to soul ties. What is a soul tie? A soul tie is a deep spiritual connection between two people, or rather, a strong spiritual link between two people. Whenever we are talking about a soul tie, we are talking about two souls coming together to take one form. And one important thing that you should always remember about a soul tie is that a soul tie can either be diabolic, meaning demonic, or divine. A soul tie is formed after two people have been intimate, either physically, spiritually, even emotionally. Since we are talking about soul ties, not body ties, we might as well as go deeper before we go higher. What is a soul? A soul is a betweener. A soul is a bridge between your spirit and your body. Your soul came into existence after your body and your spirit came into being. And one of the most important things that you should know and understand about your soul is that your soul is divided into three. Your soul has in it a mind, has in it a will, has in it emotions. With your mind, you think. With your will, you choose. With your emotions, you act. Meaning, if you are tied to somebody, one way or the other, it will come back into affecting how you think. It will affect how you choose. It will also affect how you act. Having a soul tie does not mean one is possessed, because there is a huge difference between being possessed, being attacked, and having a spirit attached. So when one has a soul tie, one has a spirit or spirits attached to them. Soul ties can affect your life. They can have an impact that is good or bad. No wonder why most of you, or rather some of you, you were doing well in life. Things were moving. As a matter of fact, your life was making sense. But all of a sudden, as soon as you opened up, rather, as soon as you entered in a relationship with somebody, your life all of a sudden stopped making sense. It's because soul ties can affect your life. You can end up producing results that you never intended to produce, results that you don't want to produce. You can be in one place for 15 years just because of a soul tie. And some of you who are listening to me right now, you know that after you met a certain group of people, or rather a certain person, you have been everywhere since you met that person, but no way. Like a headless chicken, your life does not have direction. What now stops you is what stopped them. What's defeating you is what defeated them. You have inherited giants that they've been dealing with for the rest of their lives. You do not know where they inherited the giants, but now their giants are your giants. And if you do not break free from this, it will affect not only you, but it will also affect those that will come after you. I'm talking about your children. Scripture says in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6, and you read verses 16, he who lays with a harlot is one with a harlot. He who sleeps or lays with a prostitute is one in body. Another version is one in spirit, is one in soul with the prostitute. So it can happen that one ends up in a soul tie, but a diabolic one. Jonathan and David were one in soul, were one in spirit, to an extent that Jonathan chose David over his father. Here we see a soul tie that was divine, that was good. But here's what I want you to pay attention to. This tells us that a soul tie is not always between a woman and a man, but also it can be between a woman and a woman, a man and a man. And a soul tie can also be diabolic, like I said, can also be demonic. And you need to always remember that it is possible for you to have more than one soul tie. You know you have a soul tie with somebody when your thoughts are consumed by them. You have not been talking to this person for the past 6 months, for the past 9 months, for the past 16 months, but all of a sudden you see a text from them. It is as if your mind will stop functioning. Your mind will stop working. You just think about this person and you will do what they want you to do. I've seen people living relationships that are promising for a toxic person that they know that the person is toxic. Why will somebody do such a thing? It's because they have a soul tie with that person. Hence, they are willing to sacrifice a relationship that is promising for somebody that they know that the person is not making them better, but making them bitter, but still will leave a good relationship for that person. Remember, this is a soul tie, and your soul has your mind, has your will, and has your emotions. Sometimes you can tell yourself, I'm done with this person. I don't want to hear anything about this person because this person is a burden, not a blessing in my life. This person is exhausting me, not exalting me. And as a result, I don't want to hear anything about this person. And all of a sudden, you hear a song that they used to play. And you forget about whatever you said. You forget about the declarations that you have been making. And you find yourself looking for them on social media, looking for their numbers. I'm talking about you deleting their numbers, but their numbers are not deleted in your mind. You can't escape this person. You know they mean no good. You know you have a weak spot for them, but they have a wicked spot for you. But you keep going back to them. You have a soul tie with that person. Your relationship, your covenant with them has crossed the line of the natural. It is spiritual. It is spiritual. And you need to understand that when it comes to spiritual things, time has no power. So never think, yes, I have a spiritual connection with this person, but as time goes by, it will eventually break. No, soul ties don't vanish. Until you break them, nothing can break them. Even time cannot break them. Some of you, the soul ties that have kept your life in one place are soul ties that were never supposed to happen from the first place. Because it's not always the case of you sleeping with somebody and as a result, you form a soul tie. No, you can form a soul tie by the reason of entering into vows. Emotionally, you can enter into a soul tie with somebody. Things like, I will never leave you. Things like, I will die for you. Some of you have vowed vows, have said things that you are never supposed to say. And as a result, those words have taken shape and they are haunting you. No wonder why you will forget about a person, whether this person is a friend or is an ex, and all of a sudden you hear a cologne that they used to use. And at that moment, your thoughts will be consumed by them. Another sign that shows that you have a soul tie with somebody is when you dream about them a lot. You know this person is no longer part of your life. You know you don't want to hear anything about this individual. You know that they messed your life up. And as a result, you don't want to hear anything. You have no business with this person or these people. But you keep seeing them in your dreams. And most of your dreams with them are not good at all, God here is showing you that there is a link that is strong between you and this person. And until you break it, it will never stop. Some of you, like I said, you have inherited spirits that you were never supposed to inherit from the first place because of a soul tie. That's why we have a lot of people who don't know what is the source of their problems. But if one was to sit them down and help them take a deeper rethink, they will realize and they'll be able to pick up where it all went wrong. In most cases, soul ties are involved. Now the question is, I hear you, man of God. I hear you, apostle. I hear you, doctor. But how does one break free from soul ties? You need, number one, to enter into prayer. Number two, you need to fast. Number three, you need to confess everything that you have said about that person to that person. You now need to counteract it. Example, if you said, I will die for you, I want you to say the opposite. If you say, I will never do this, I will never do this. If I leave you, may I be cursed for the rest of my life. I want you now to combat those words using words.